Hi, I'm Justine McNulty, a social worker at the Arnprior and District Family Health Team. Welcome back to another edition of this series on managing kids' mental health amid COVID-19. So far in this series, we've discussed a number of things that could be helpful for you, your little ones, and your families at this difficult time. We started off by introducing how you can start conversations with your kids about COVID-19 while addressing in age-appropriate ways some of the questions and concerns that may be affecting their mental health right now. We framed their understanding of what's going on and their reaction to it as a grief response. And we talked about managing the 4 C's and making sure that you address these questions that they may be wondering about at this difficult time. And if you can remember, those 4 C's were: what caused this? Can I catch this? You can also talk about how you can prevent catching this. Is there a cure for this? And who will take care of me? We also introduced the hand-brain model of emotional reactivity, a way that you can help your little one understand why they may be experiencing really big emotions to things that they otherwise may not be responding to with such emotional intensity right now. So we talked about how that prefrontal cortex, or lid, covers up that lizard brain, or limbic system, the emotion center of our brain, which connects to our brainstem, which holds the reactivity threshold for that fight, flight, or freeze response, which can make us act in ways that we otherwise might not if our lid is on. We also talked about strategies that we can have that lid come back on in that video, as well as in another one. We talked about naming that emotion to tame it. We talked about getting physical to get some of that energy out that could be misplaced and misused as behavioral inappropriateness if left unchecked. And then in another video, we talked about relaxation strategies. We learned spaghetti toes and how to create a sensory bin or container that engages all 5 of their senses that can calm that sympathetic nervous system response, activating the parasympathetic nervous response, putting that lid back on so that they can think more clearly and you can redirect them. We also talked about the importance of self-care for the caregivers and parents in the kids' lives, and how, because of the mirror neurons that we all possess, you're modeling this calmness that is contagious for your little ones by practicing self-care. And reframing that understanding of practicing self-care at this stressful time, replacing that idea that it is selfish, that it is frivolous, to something that is actually necessary and helpful. So today I wanted to finish off this series by talking about the importance and helpfulness of having structure and routine to your days. If you're similar to me right now, are trying to work from home as well as prioritize the needs of your kids and your partner, it can be really difficult to try to juggle all of that. Something that I found helpful personally, as well as I found helpful for the clients that I support in their homes, is to have a flexible yet structured daily routine. A lot of things are really chaotic right now and uncertain. And when that happens, our nervous system is kind of like shaking all the time. And this stress response can be exhausting. Something that can help calm that nervous system down, again, activating the parasympathetic nervous system response, keep us more level-headed and more energized, is to create structure in the lack of structure. So it may be easy right now and tempting to stay in your pajamas all day, watch more TV than usual, eat junk food, and disregard chores. It can be helpful, again, to model it for your children as well as to teach them the importance of structure and routine in your daily life, even though there's nothing outside coming down on you enforcing this. When we have routine and structure in our day, it acts as this security blanket for our nervous system. It makes things more predictable, and for little ones, this can be very helpful. In the lack of routine in my home and in the homes of the people that I support, I see this as chaos. Kids can react with emotional intensity more often. Fights happen, disagreements over the littlest things. People's irritability tends to increase, and everybody's just frustrated, even though they think, well, why is this so? We're having so much fun. All we're doing is relaxing, eating junk food. But actually, it can kind of have that counter effect to what you would think it would. So, yes, in small doses, watching TV, eating junk food, staying in your pajamas can be a relaxing activity. But if it becomes too much, it loses its novelty and its value as being something that's restorative and becomes depleting, can lead to irritability, mood swings, anger, frustration, low mood, and sometimes even depression. So, in organizing your day and creating a routine that works for you and your family, you've got to be creative and think of your needs and your children's needs and your partner's needs if you have a partner, because it's going to look different for every family. The other thing that's important to remember is to be flexible in adjusting your routine when you realize something doesn't work. It's okay to have a routine that's important, but it's also important to have that level of flexibility, even within one day, knowing that even if you scheduled a mindful activity at 9 a.m., if something happens, a kid has a meltdown, trips and falls, that can be moved to another time when it will be more appropriate and more effective. I want to teach you an acronym that I came up with that can help you include activities that can be helpful for you and your family right now to manage this time and to structure your routine of your day. So, this acronym you can remember as SPACE with two C's. So, SPACE. So, these are some things that you can do throughout your day that might be helpful for you and your kids. So for the S, that's self-care. Make sure that you structure something in for yourself, as well as encourage your children to structure something that can be nice and relaxing and restorative for them. The P is play. Something that's really helpful for kids is to have unstructured playtime. This also can create an opportunity for you to be with them and help them process some of the stuff, some of the big feelings that they have right now that they can't logically articulate with words and communicating to you how they feel. Play can allow them to creatively work out issues that they're having in a very fun, age appropriate way. It also opens the door for an opportunity for you to engage with them, ask them questions, or answer questions that they might be having right now. The next letter in SPACE is A. So this is a time when you can do an activity as a family. And it can be really helpful to have this activity be something that teaches them a skill, but it doesn't have to come from a curriculum. If you guys are like me right now and you're getting emails from teachers, it's easy to get caught up in that pressure of following their particular agenda of what to teach your kids right now. Be creative, follow their lead and their interests, and you can still teach them stuff with structured activities that falls in line with an age appropriate level of education that is not going to be super frustrating. The first C in SPACE is connection. You want to find moments throughout the day where you can connect as a family. One of the things that can be really nice, and we've started at home in our family, is to reflect on our day and write down, our kids can't write it, so we write it for them, write down something memorable about this time. We're going to put this together at the end of the pandemic so that they can keep it with them. And when they're older, they can reflect on this time and remember some of the really positive things that came out of this really stressful event. The other C is chores. It's important to still remember that even though we're at home and we're all together, that we still have things that we need to do. And this helps, it can help with the routine and structure of your day, but it's also good to teach your kids a sense of responsibility and to get them engaged in things that need to be done around the house. It can be as simple as allowing them to fold their own clothes or having them clean up the table at the end of a meal. It doesn't really matter what it is, so long as it's engaging and it gives them that sense of responsibility and also accomplishment when they're done it. The last letter in space, SPA, with a double C and then an E, is for exercise. Make sure that you take some time out of every routine within your day and schedule some time to be physically active yourself as well as with your children. We can't go to the gym anymore, but we can be creative with apps, and there's a lot of really cool things for kids. So our family has fallen in love with Disney, and I've always been a fan of Disney. But Disney has some really creative things that you can Google. So they have a series of yoga videos as well as a series of Zumba videos. I'm sure there's more too. Just be creative, explore, have fun, and find some physical exercises that you and your family will enjoy. So I hope you found this series helpful. I really enjoyed putting them together. And I also hope that you had time to go through the Facebook page and look at some of the other resources related to kids' mental health amid COVID-19 that you can use at home with your family to help yourself and those that you love. Take care.